The St. Rose neighborhood in Santa Rosa, California. Is it a good place to be? What are the pros? What are the cons? What does it look like? That's exactly what I'm going to be giving you guys in this week's video. I'm going to open up a map. I'm going to show you where it is. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to give you a tour. I'm going to show you some landmarks. And I'm going to give you my overall thoughts about this neighborhood so you can decide if it is a good fit for you. What's up, guys? My name is Danny M. Cronin. I'm a real estate agent right here in the beautiful Santa Rosa, California with W Real Estate. If this is your very first time to my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I drop a video once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. I give you neighborhood tours. I give you my thoughts, pros, cons, all of the above. So if that's something you're interested in, please do hit that subscribe button. It only takes you about 2 seconds, so you're notified next time I drop a video. And of course, I am a full-time real estate agent apart from all this content. So if you're interested in moving here, if you're interested in moving away from here, whatever the case is, I'd love to help you out. All my contact info is below. Call me, text me, DM me, whatever is easiest for you. Shoot me an email. I'd love to help you out. And without further ado, let's get into this week's video, which is all about the St. Rose neighborhood. All right, so right off the bat, I just want to show you guys a little bit of where this neighborhood is before we get too in deep of the video here. So let me zoom the camera out here, zoom the map out rather. So here is Santa Rosa. We got Highway 101 running north and south. We got Highway 12 running east and west. Just over here, northeast, barely on that east side of Santa Rosa, is a little neighborhood called the St. Rose District. During this video, I'm going to get into kind of everything about this neighborhood. We're going to talk about things that are nearby, location, houses, history, all of that good stuff. But I did just want to kind of quickly pull up a video here, a map, can't say map, I guess, today. And I just wanted to show you guys where this place is exactly, just so you have a better idea as I'm talking through this video of kind of where it is. But, you know, here it is right on the right side of Highway 101. Just on the other side of 101 is the West End neighborhood. Also a very, very, very nice neighborhood. I really love it over here. I've always said for the longest time, these two neighborhoods right here, I think, are going to appreciate more in value than any other neighborhood in Santa Rosa, and it all has to do with its location. As you can see, we are essentially downtown, you know, on both sides of Highway 101 here. Here's the Santa Rosa Plaza right here. That is where the mall is, you know, and look at these neighborhoods. I mean, look at where it is. You know, if you think about Santa Rosa as a whole, you know, Santa Rosa is pretty big. I don't think a lot of people really realize that, but like if you're over here in the JC neighborhood, granted, it's still, you know, not that far of a walk, a bike ride, a car ride, whatever you think. But I mean, if you're in, you know, other parts of Santa Rosa, if you're in like Northwest Santa Rosa, somewhere down here, it can take a little while to get over here. But these two neighborhoods, specifically, I know we're just talking about St. Rose today, but so close to downtown, so many fun things around. And so I just wanted to pull that up briefly to show you guys exactly where this neighborhood is. Now that you have a better idea of it, let's get into the video. Okay, so now that you know where the neighborhood is, let's talk a little bit about what's nearby, what there is to do around this neighborhood and things like that. So number one, right off the bat, we have the Sonoma County Museum, basically inside of the neighborhood. It's located right there downtown. Very easy access. One of the funnest places to go to if you're into old school history. I recently read a book about Santa Rosa's history, and this actual building right here used to be Santa Rosa's very first post office. So that is so cool to me if you're a history buff like I am. I really take pride in knowing these like little quirky things about Santa Rosa and knowing that. Super, super cool. So just being able to to see that building and know that it did exist in like the early 1900s, for me is just super, super cool. I geek out about stuff like this all the time, especially not just history, but like local history, things that are important to me. So that's super, super special. So it's cool that the museum is inside of this neighborhood. Fun thing to do, take the kids there, walk around, have a blast. Some really, really cool things to see there. Place number 2, a place I've been to a few times. I can't say it's my go-to because that is another place called Aroma Roasters, but we're talking about coffee. Brew Coffee is right here in the St. Rose neighborhood. If you like white mochas, I did have a white mocha there, and I gotta say it was bomb.com, but we have our go-to spot. I think my wife and I and my son, we've been going to Aroma Roasters for years. Me and my wife have been going there even before we had my son, and that's our go-to spot. But for whatever reason, I think Aroma Roasters was shut down, so we did go to the St. Rose neighborhood, just down the street basically from my house where I live. We had a cup of coffee there. Good times, good vibes. They sell good food in there, croissants, bagels, whatever, you name it. They have awesome coffee. And it's right there in the St. Rose neighborhood. So if you're into local coffee shops, hanging out, maybe getting some work done, whatever the case is, Brew is your place to go. And then we at least have to talk about the mall. The mall is literally right there. I mean, it is like right there inside the St. Rose neighborhood. So, you know, if you're wanting to be able to go to the mall, to go downtown, to go enjoy the good restaurants we have downtown, like La Rosa. If you want to go get a good beer, you're going to head over to Shady Oak. You're going to go head over to Russian River Brew Co. All of these things, the best restaurants, in my opinion, in Santa Rosa are located on 4th Street. And if you live in this neighborhood, you are literally just steps away from these amazing places. So many cool spots. You got Courthouse Square. That's, again, downtown Santa Rosa. So you're super close if you're in this neighborhood. But just being able to say that you live close to downtown and you have access to everything downtown Santa Rosa has to offer, I would say you're in super good shape. And I mentioned it briefly in the very beginning of this video when we were looking at a map, but the surrounding neighborhoods around St. Rose neighborhood are truly amazing. And I think this is the best part of town for things I look for in a neighborhood. Obviously, beautiful architecture is high on my list of that. Fun things to do nearby, close downtown, being walking distance from downtown is high on my list. Good food, good breweries, places to go, parks, since I do have my son now. All these things are important to me, and you get all of that if you live in the St. Rose neighborhood. I did make a video about the West End neighborhood of Santa Rosa, which, again, I said it earlier, I think is gonna appreciate better than any neighborhood in all of Santa Rosa, strictly because of its history and its location. It hasn't really developed. St. Rose either. The St. Rose neighborhood and West End, they're right next to each other. They haven't really been super updated, you know, but they're cool, quirky little neighborhoods. They're both very, very small, older homes in these neighborhoods. Just overall, a great place to be. If you're living in the St. Rose neighborhood, you have good company all around. Okay, now we know what's nearby. Let's talk about my favorite portion about any of the videos I ever make. It's about the history. This was, believe it or not, Santa Rosa's very first neighborhood that was founded. St. Rose actually means Santa Rosa. I guess they were like running short on terms back then. They didn't know what to name these neighborhoods, but they named it St. Rose because it meant Santa Rosa, therefore Santa Rosa's very first neighborhood. The St. Rose Church, you just don't see places like this anymore. This was built, they say the 1900s, but who knows? Could have been built even before then. It was built by the Italians that immigrated here. They built this masterpiece of a church. It is absolutely gigantic. If you have the chance to walk by this thing, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. They just do not make buildings like they made this. Fully made out of stone. You can tell the amount of craftsmanship that went into this place was just absolutely top-notch. Just cool. It's cool to be around such an ancient building like the St. Rose Church. There is a long list of very famous people, you know, kind of the founding fathers of Santa Rosa that did, in fact, live in this exact neighborhood. The number one that comes to mind is Mr. Boyce. There is a Boyce Street in Santa Rosa, and that is because of this gentleman. He is one of the very first, the earliest investors in Santa Rosa. He owned many different properties here in town, and he also was the very first professional physician in Santa Rosa. He lived here. He actually helped develop some of this neighborhood. Super, super cool to see. I did mention a lot of the homes here were older. In fact, a lot of these homes being built in 1872 to the 1940s. Obviously, some of those built in the 1800s no longer exist, strictly because they've been taken down, upgraded, and stuff like that. But actually, a lot of homes here in this neighborhood weren't actually first built in this neighborhood. A lot of the homes that were here were actually moved here into this neighborhood to escape demolition, because as Santa Rosa started developing, more commercial areas started coming. So where they built those original single family homes, those homes in those areas were now being turned into commercial areas. So a lot of those homes had to get out of there or be demolished. And a lot of the homes that first were built on Mendocino, homes that were in the line of path of the freeway, because the freeway was actually an afterthought in Santa Rosa. Obviously, they built the town, then they built the freeway. The freeway kind of goes right through downtown. If you can kind of look at it from a map, you can kind of see it doesn't really make sense where it was placed. And that's strictly because it wasn't thought of yet. So a lot of the homes here were older. This is a preservation neighborhood. So homes were moved here in order to stay alive and not be demolished. So pretty cool. This neighborhood is actually recognized by Santa Rosa as the first historic neighborhood of Santa Rosa. It was nominated in 1990. And I gotta say, for it being Santa Rosa's very first neighborhood being built, it definitely belongs in this class. Now let's talk a little bit about the real estate and kind of what's going on in this neighborhood. They are currently building more housing in this neighborhood, again, because it is an older neighborhood, it's super established, but hasn't really been updated. A lot of older houses here. So they got rid of, a square section of homes, and they are building new housing here. And in this neighborhood, it is downtown. It's in, Northeast Santa Rosa. So a lot of the homes, since they are older Victorian homes, it can be pretty pricey. A couple recent sales there were over $1 million. So if you're looking for affordability, smaller houses, I would definitely probably steer clear of this area. Again, it's a little bit more expensive. It's on the upper end because these homes are older Victorians. I mean, if you just drive through this neighborhood, you're gonna see like, wow, this is a different neighborhood than the rest of them in Santa Rosa. There's just something special about the St. Rose neighborhood. And when it comes to real estate and affordability, you might want to look elsewhere. Okay, I don't want to ramble on too much about the St. Rose neighborhood. And so that's going to wrap this one up. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all about this neighborhood, if it's a good fit for you, maybe you have another neighborhood in mind, please reach out, call me, text me, email me. I love hearing from you guys. I get very frequent phone calls, so I'm very flattered to get these calls from you guys. So please feel free to reach out at any time if you have any questions, and make sure you hit subscribe. So you subscribe to my channel so you get updated next time I drop a video so you don't miss it. Again, they happen once a week, every single week, all having to do with living in Sonoma County. And that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching again, and we'll see you on the next one.